were a friend of mine around the launch of the special edition of Secret of Monkey Island, I probably tried to thrust it upon you. I was in the midst of exploring the point-and-click adventure genre as I had passed it by when I was young, and Secret of Monkey Island was the new high point. Maniac Mansion is a wonderfully well-designed puzzle box, but Secret of Monkey Island is a symphony. Its puzzle design is near perfect, and its humorous script makes it extraordinarily rewarding to solve. Monkey Island 2 might be even better than that, but following those two hits, the series took a nosedive. Curse of, Escape from, and Tales of Monkey Island are all fine, okay even, but the first two games weren't fine, they were magic. So, Ron Gilbert has rejoined Dave Grossman on the series and has promised to deliver Monkey Island back to its lofty status. Well, I don't remember him saying that, and he probably didn't. However, that's how all of us fans took it. But can Return to Monkey Island really live up to those classic titles? Leading up to launch, I heard a lot of speculation about Return to Monkey Island ignoring everything after the second game and being a direct sequel to LeChuck's Revenge. I want to be clear here, that's not the case. I don't know that it needed to be the case, because the Monkey Island continuity was hardly ever perverted. The first two games didn't start some overarching narrative that was fumbled when handed to other teams. They were dumb, self-aware pirate tales. There's even a joke early on that the games are bad with conclusions. No. Murray the Skull has returned, Elaine and Guybrush are already married, and Guybrush even recalls a situation from Tales of Monkey Island. Do you need to play those games to appreciate Return to Monkey Island? No, but also yes. Return to Monkey Island leans heavily into self-reference. Much of the adventure takes place in locations from the first game, and characters from those turn up. So many of the jokes lean on the good old days that I'm not sure I would have appreciated them as much if I had missed out. Considering my memory is foggy of some of the later titles, I probably missed a fair few, even as a fan. The story has Guybrush Threepwood recalling a tale to his son. This time, it's on the subject of the secret of Monkey Island. But not that one time he did it. This is a different time. He arrived back on Melee Island to assemble a crew and fund an expedition to the island. This time it's different. There's a different assortment of pirate leaders, and he secures passage in another way. No, I lied. It's about as inconsequential as all the other Monkey Island narratives. Being back on Melee Island gives the game an excuse to roll out an assortment of returning characters. Return to Monkey Island eventually does set sail, only to return back. I guess what I'm saying is to keep expectations very low on what kind of story is being told. On the other hand, I am happy to report that puzzle design is about where it used to be. You can choose to play on an easier casual mode that cuts down on the puzzle complexity. I didn't check it out because I'm not certain why I'd want to play an adventure game with fewer puzzles. I'd recommend you do the same because there's also a hint book available in-game to prevent you from running in circles. It's pretty handy, first pointing you in the direction of where you're looking, then giving more and more hints until it outright tells you. There's nothing as obtuse as Monkey Island 2's infamous use monkey on pump puzzle, so if you're comfortable with 90s adventure games, you'll be fine here. The humor is also on point, even if it does stick its thumb out to previous games a bit too much. When left to its own devices, Return to Monkey Island has some sharp insights into the world and humanity's more selfish side. Guybrush himself has a habit of ruining lives just to further his personal goals, and it's really given the spotlight. It's less wacky than the latter-day Monkey Islands, and closer to the sharp wood of the first two, and I think that's what a lot of fans were hoping for. It also marks the return of Dominic Armato in the role of Guybrush's voice. While he didn't take on the identity until the third game, he's sort of become the de facto voice of Guybrush. He has this sort of ineffectual front that makes him seem naive, while secretly being dizzyingly acidic. He'll charm you with his naivety, then steal a precious family heirloom just to ruin it to get an item of questionable value. Other big voices make the return, but since it's so much time spent listening to Guybrush and so little of the other characters, Dominic's return is rather key. The big question here is if Return to Monkey Island manages to reach the quality of the original classic titles. The answer is yes, but also no. This is absolutely the closest the series has ever come to returning to its pinnacle. The puzzle design, the charm, and the game's flow are all pretty much spot on. Above all, the humor is still as sharp as a shattered Jolly Rancher, landing a lot of chuckle-worthy strikes. However, it's the third time this joke has been told, and it hasn't made it any fresher. So much of Return to Monkey Island is callbacks that don't feel like they stand on their own. It's an excellent companion piece for the other games, and a love letter to the fans of the series, but also I feel like it takes a few jabs at them. I can only ever see myself playing it again in sequence with the rest of the games in the series. At the same time, it's a breath of fresh air after the middling titles we've been given since '91. At least we can stop holding our breath and laugh again. Thank you for watching today's review. If you liked it, please remember to like and subscribe to see more reviews like this. To see the written review, more game reviews, and game news, head on over to Destructoid.com.